Hey guys, it's Zach here, and today we're going to be looking at Scream Factory's 2021 release of House of Wax, a 2005 horror film directed by Jaume Collet-Serra, featuring Alicia Cuthbert and Chad Michael Murray as our two main protagonists and siblings, Carly and Nick. Along with four of their friends, they find themselves road tripping out of town for a big football game. When they camp out for the night after being sent on a detour, strange things start to happen. The characters first find a huge pit of roadkill in the middle of the woods and are soon greeted by a greasy stranger. They opt to nope out of there, but lo and behold, one of their cars is suddenly broken down. They take up an offer from the roadkill man to drive to the nearest town in search of parts, where things only go south from there. They soon find the town to be eerily empty, and the few people that are living there don't seem to be too welcoming. I won't get into the nitty-gritty, but if you've seen films like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Tourist Trap, then this will feel familiar in setting and style. It features a shell of a town, a couple crazed maniacs, and all the ways to make wax a much more horrifying substance than I once thought. The film isn't the best critically, but it definitely has a well-deserved cult following. The script is lacking at times, and the performances range from awful to actually pretty good. The sets and effects are top-notch, however, and I'm so happy to see how much of it is practical instead of computer-generated. The atmosphere is both campy and unsettling, creating quite a unique feel to the film. Despite its flaws, I really enjoyed it, and I could easily see this being a fun movie night with friends. With that, however, let's get into the details of our release. I can't wait to see what Shout has to offer alongside this modern take of a creepy classic. Here we are with Scream Factory's 2021 release for House of Wax. As usual, it includes a slipcover for the first printings, with newly commissioned artwork. I will say one thing I wish is that Scream Factory was a little bit more upfront about the artists for their covers. Eureka, for example, usually includes on the case if there is new art done and by who. Regardless, it looks great, and underneath, we have our standard Blu-ray case as usual. When we open it up, we get our single disc on the right, and the sleeve is reversible as well. I personally love the original poster for House of Wax. I remember seeing the marketing for it when I was younger and always thought this poster was particularly scary, even if I wasn't really watching the film at the time. With that, however, we've unboxed our copy of House of Wax, so let's go check out what's on the disc. To start us out, Scream Factory presents House of Wax with a brand new 2K scan of the interpositive. There's no commentary tracks or alternate cuts, but the film looks great nonetheless. The majority of the supplements are archival, however, Shout does bring us 4 brand new videos in the form of various interviews. 2 of the interviews feature cast members Paris Hilton and Robert Richard, who play the supporting couple in the film. Neither of them have anything terribly interesting to say, but it's nice to see how fondly they remember the movie. More compelling are the 2 crew interviews with composer John Ottman and makeup effects artist Jason Bayard. They each go into some great details and memories from production. Ottman's dedication to scoring the film really brings out each scene. You can tell how much care he put into composing the music, and his shared insights only work to enhance the feature upon rewatches. Bayard's interview also stands out as he goes into some cool details about different scenes and the work that went into doing a film involving so much wax, props, and effects. Overall, the interviews are a quick watch at just under 30 minutes total, and something interesting enough to tack on after watching the movie itself. From here on out, it's archival supplements. Some standout inclusions are the featurettes on the film. We get 2 production-focused featurettes and a third vintage one containing footage from an electronic press kit. Our first up is Wax On, the design of House of Wax, a 7-minute short featuring the director and the producers as they collectively talk a bit about building the setting for House of Wax. They chose to shoot in Australia and build up an actual small-town set instead of just filming in a studio backlot with pre-made sets. It's a cool insight into the setting of the film and its production origins. Our second featurette is titled The House Built on Wax, the visual effects of House of Wax. This video runs at about 10 minutes and is a great insight into just how the look of the film is achieved. House of Wax has an incredible use of practical effects, but working with such a malleable and messy material can make different scenes incredibly hard to pull off. The team wanted to rely as little as possible on visual effects over practical, and this featurette highlights many of the ways they work to minimize CG usage, and how they blended the two together when needed. Always a favorite subject of mine when practical effects are involved. The third and final featurette is our longest at just under 20 minutes. It's an electronic press kit containing clips from production, as well as quick talks with various cast and crew members. Since it's a press kit, the cast mainly talk about their personal roles, and the crew mainly talks about various challenges and goals in bringing the production to life. I'm not usually one for press kits, but it's still a great inclusion if you're a fan of any of the people involved. From here on out, we get some more lax bonus features. We have a gag reel that runs about 5 minutes, including all the bloopers you could want. On top of that, we get a whopping 26 minutes of B-roll footage that welcomes 4 of the original cast members for video commentary while they watch. This recording is only a year or so after production, so it's like watching a group of friends go down memory lane from a great experience they all shared. It can be a bit awkward watching their chemistry outside of the film, though. To finalize our release, we get a theatrical trailer for the film, a short clip from producer Joel Silver announcing the film, and more notably, a deleted scene. This scene is actually an alternate opening to the film featuring a death scene as opposed to the film's original flashback opening with Bo and Vincent as children. In the end, I definitely prefer the scene they decided to go with, as a pretty standard death scene just doesn't seem fitting for the opening of this movie. Overall, Scream Factory has a pretty good release here. While only the interviews and the scan are brand new, they're still backed up by a good supply of archival supplements, working together to make this a solid pick. Unless you're a fan of the film, however, the supplements are nothing groundbreaking, but I enjoyed going through them immediately after viewing, as they answered all sorts of questions and curiosities I had with the special effects, especially when dealing with all that wax. So if you find yourself yearning for some 2000s cult horror goodness, this one will do you just fine. An enjoyable slasher with an enjoyable release.